Welcome back to Dan's Messy Garage. I'm going to call this day 3 of working on the 71 Comet GT Clone project. I'm going to start today by peeling the plastic off and getting ready to do the power steering pump and bracket. I think before I do the power steering pump and bracket, I'm going to put the car back together. I'm going to put the side marker in there, wheel lip molding, tire, bumper, stuff like that. It's about to put the marker light on the car, but I remembered it kind of crumbled apart when I removed it. So I gotta get some JB Weld and glue this back together. I have it glued in position. I'm going to let all that harden, and then I can reinforce it with some more JB Weld around the edges. That's going to take a while to dry, so I'm going to move on to putting on other parts of the car. Since I can't put that marker light in for a while, I can do this wheel arc molding here and then put the tire back on. Get some screws. Start in the middle. Right there. I'm going to turn the car around, make it easier for me to work on the front, closer to my toolbox. I gotta jack it up, put it back down on the ground, and this will be an added benefit. I'll be able to take it outside and look at it in the daylight. Check out the fender. Well, the sun's over on this side, so I need to turn the car around so we can look at it with the sun shining on the fender that I fixed. Get the camera out of the way and I'll flip it around. Okay, there it is. Looks good. I gotta wipe some dust off it here and there, but the color looks fine. This is what I painted. This was original, or 14 years old. Same here. But the paint was mainly center of the wheel forward in this area. But it's looking good. I think that's far enough. Oh yeah, I could even back it up a couple feet if I need to. Chin spoiler. I want to put this on the valence panel before I put the bumper on because it's easier to get to these bolts. I still need to put the truck bed liner on that. Anytime I had to work on this car in the past, it's always been a pain under the hood because there's things are just shoehorned in here. There's not a lot of room. The real nightmare is the headers. We had to replace header gaskets a couple times, and that's just no fun. Right now I'm going to focus on power steering bracket. The first thing I'm going to have to do is move this air conditioning compressor. I don't know if I'll have enough room in the lines to move it over that way. I'm going to have to study this, and then I'll come back and let you know what I'm going to do. I'm looking at this, and it might be possible to leave this alone and take off the power steering brackets and pump at the same time, because the bracket that holds the compressor, closest to the block, then the power steering pump bracket is on that, and it looks like I can get to the bolts that hold the bracket. I'm going to start with taking a power steering line off the back of the pump and letting it drain. I got a drain pan under there. Alright, I got the clamp loose, but I couldn't get the line off of the pump. So I thought I'd just cut the line, the return line. Couldn't get cutters up in there. But I was able to finally reach up in there good enough with a utility knife and gave it a good slice. It's not all the way cut off, but it's draining. And that's good enough. I'm going to try to get the line off the back of the pump. It's one of those things you can see, but you can't get to. If I can get her loose, you know what? I'm hungry. I got to go get something to eat. I'll take care of this later. Since this is my channel, my video, I'm going to plug something here. This is a 200 cubic inch 6-cylinder engine with tri-power. It's on a 67 Falcon. It's my car. I'm going to be the engine runs great. Don't get me wrong there, it runs great. But I'm going to pull it out and put a 302 in there, because I could easily double the horsepower of that. And that's what I'm going to do. So this is for sale. It's a rebuilt 200. In fact, I had some YouTube videos of me rebuilding it. Pertronics unit in the distributor. Comp 260H cam. 3-1 barrel carburetors. It'll come with power steering bracket at least, maybe even a pump. It's got an air conditioning compressor. The sun's really bright here. I don't know if you can see what I'm pointing at, but Under the alternator is an air conditioning compressor. The air conditioning works fine on this car. It has a Clifford dual exhaust header, and it's for sale, $2,500. You get it all. You gotta act quick. I think this is March 11th. 10 or 11, I'm not really sure what day it is. But send me an email, dansmessygarage@gmail.com, and we can talk about the engine. I can arrange shipping anywhere in the United States. Just hit me up. Now I gotta go hit my stomach up with some food. I'm gonna try this again and continue. I'm gonna take the line off the back of the pump. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, buddy. It looks like I have to go get a power steering pump pulley puller. There's bolts in behind it. Let me show you what I'm talking about. And you can't get the bolts out unless you take the pulley off. I know there's a few cars like this. There and there. Those bolts are going to hit the back of that pulley. There's not enough room to get them out. I've been down this road before. You got to take the pump and that bracket off at the same time. But I'm going to need to get that special puller from O'Reilly to get that pulley off of there. I'm going to have to pull it off anyways, come to think of it, to put it on a new pump. Should have thought of that. All right, I got to go up to O'Reilly. I know I'm rambling, but, you know, another one of those days. All right, I'm back. It's rental tool program, from Auto Parts. You actually buy it, and then if you don't return it, it's yours. But if you return it, you get your money back. So it's like a free rental. And I told them I just want to buy one. So they're going to order a new one. Because this one's been rented a few times, and a lot of people don't take care of rental tools. They kind of beat on them. They get the job done. But this is the doohickey here that goes on the end of the pulley on that stub, front snout. It's a two-piece affair. Clamps around the end of that, and this ring holds it together. And then use the puller and installer threaded portions here to either yank that pulley off. I'm trying to get the camera to focus on there. Yank that pulley off and use it to install it when you're done. I was afraid of that. I got the pump unbolted. I can't get it out of there. Not enough room, I don't think. Well, try again here. It's got that big bracket on it. No. I have to let it I gotta move this. Alright, let me see what's involved in moving that. Okay, I took one bolt out of the bracket and I loosened the other bolt, and now I can move this whole assembly. Should be able to get the pump out of there now. I'm close. Alright, I got that hopefully out of the way enough. Of course, the pump has got a long, whatchamacallit on it, dipstick tube. Maybe I can get that up through here first. Nope. Okay, I'm making a hell of a mess with power steering fluid dumping everywhere. I'm going to take off this windshield washer reservoir. Just noticed something. Remember when I was gluing this on there? Had this in position, had it taped nice and pretty. I was digging in my socket thing on the workbench. Didn't see it, but I knocked that thing right off of there. And that's starting to harden up, so I can get to scrape all that off and redo it. All the joys of Dan's messy garage. Alright, so luckily that JB Weld wasn't super hard. I was able to scrape it off. This time I'm using the mounting bracket turned upside down to hold everything in position. I have it off to the side where I shouldn't be bumping it. And now that'll harden up and I can get back to what I was doing. Yeah, Murphy's got me again. I thought I could pull that pump out of there, you know, maybe get this line out of the way enough to get it past this tank. Look what I did. I punched a hole right in that windshield washer bottle, trying to get that power steering pump out of there. So now I definitely have to take this off and fix that hole. Luckily I have my JB Weld out. I'm going to give this another try. I got the broken windshield washer reservoir out of the way. Now I should be able to get this pump out of here. Look at that. Oh boy. See, if I would have taken that reservoir out first place, like, you know, I said, oh, you got to take that out. Then I turned the camera off and thought, maybe I can get it out of there. And bang. So if I'd have taken it off, I'd have been able to pull that out just like I did. Now I'm looking down here at the disgusting mess. I dumped a bunch of trans fluid, power steering fluid all over everything. But that pump's been leaking and not working right for a while. And everything down in this area, I don't know, let me see if I can get you down in here, is just covered with, you know, nasty stuff. Might not look too bad on camera. It looks like under an engine compartment. But usually under the hood of this car is nice and clean. It's not like all this stuff. Now he wants me to change the oil too. Perfect time to get to that oil filter. And I gotta clean all that crap out of there. See the oil filter right there in the center of the screen. See how the gook on there? That power steering pump's been leaking and spraying back where the fan blows it back all over the engine. So I gotta clean that up. I'm gonna use my good old faithful starting fluid. I'll blast some of that off of there. I'll start up top here. That just kind of melts it right off of there. But you guys are right where I need to be, so I'm gonna pause you and clean that up. Another thing that's really good at getting grease, grime, and crap off is super clean. So I'm gonna douse this down good and get a brush and a rag. Scrub on this and then rinse it off, and it's gonna be spick and span. Alright, I got that all wiped down, dried off, looking good in there. Let's see if I can show you how this power steering pump pulley remover tool works. The tool comes with a few different accessories depending on the car and what you're doing. But what it is, it's got these two clamshells and they have different size openings. You find the one that fits the pulley on your car best, and this one it would be that. And then this goes inside here and you slide the ring over and that kind of holds it all together. And then you tighten this. You got to hold, maybe I can hold it by hand, I don't know. No, so I got to get a big wrench to put on that, hold that, tighten this, and what it's going to do is going to push on the end of the shaft and pull the pulley off the shaft. I'm going to find a big wrench. I got a 13/16 wrench. That should fit nicely on there. So I'm going to put it like that. Take this and tighten it. It should pull that pulley off there. Feels like it's pulling. Alright, I gotta regroup. I'm gonna put the wrench in the vise to hold all this. And I'm gonna get a ratchet and a socket to make this easier. I already got the wrench in the vise holding the puller. Now I can tighten this and push the pump off of there. And I gotta move you guys. I always seem to put you right in the wrong spot. Here we go. No, wrench isn't tight enough in the vise. Getting a lot easier. Must be coming to the end. Yep, there it is. That's off. Now this is the bracket I need to take off and paint because it's chipping and rusting. So I'm going to take these 3 bolts out. I'm going to use my air impact to get these out. There's also a big nut right on the back here. It is 1.1 inches. I'm going to start by blasting that nut off of there. Like that. Looks like that was just, I could have loosened it and slid it off, but I probably need that nut for the other pump. Alright, so I'm going to change the socket, 9/16. Blast these out of here. Okay. There's the pump. Probably throw these brackets, my sandblaster, and get all the rust off. Paint and rust, and then prime and paint brackets. Okay, this pump, I don't remember where it was leaking from. It could have been around this, where the can or the outside reservoir. This thing here. Now I know on this, when I just took off the car, this return hose, let's say pointing toward me on the green one, the black one, it's going up. I'm going to have to put this in the car. Oh, there's that nut. Looks like a whole different size. I'm getting ahead of myself. I better look at the pump, you know, the replacement pump, because these are different size holes. That's a giant one, that's a smaller one. So let me get the pump out and look. I hope this is the right pump, because he bought this in September. This is March. Got a couple different O-rings. If pump pressure port requires a set install supplied seat to pump, okay, whatever. I'll look at that later. First, I gotta see what size this end is. That's going to determine what housing I use. The fluid that came out of here is awful brown looking. So that pump has got some problems inside. Okay, this is a smaller one. So it looks like it's going to be the black housing. See, this pump already has an O-ring on it. I'm just going to do a test fit. See if the diameters are good. Yeah, diameter's right. That hole is right. All right. I'm going to have to end this video here. I mean, the phone just rang and wrecked my recording. And it's just one of those days, things just aren't going right. So I'm going to call this the end of day 3, working on the 71 Comet GT Clone. I thank you for watching Dan's Messy Garage. Please come back to see what happens on day 4. Bye.